You are listening to a MetalExpressRadio.com interview. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Mick Burgess. I'm now joined backstage at the Cluny in Newcastle by Anneke Van Giersbergen. Pronounce that right?
Giersbergen.
Ah, yes.
But it doesn't matter.
You say better than me.
I know it's a difficult name to pronounce for people outside of Holland,
Yes.
but it's fine.
You're halfway through your UK tour now. How the show's been going so far?
Actually, very, very good. I didn't know what to expect because, like I also said earlier in some interviews or whatever, it's quite a challenge to build something new up again, because you can say people know me by name and by reputation or whatever I did before, but whenever I start something new, like a project or a band in this case, and I give it a band name, people have to get used to a name, to a new sound, to new, a constellation of people, and that's not, and I find it's never easy.
No.
So we start again, small venues, and I have to say it's so cool that people that do show up, they're way into it, and so we have every night. It's just a blast, and we go from here.
So you get the hardcore fans rather than the casual fans.
Oh yeah, and I think those guys, they're really into it, like you said, and it makes us feel very good and makes us to want to press on.
Yeah. This is your first ever show in Newcastle as well, I believe.
I suppose so, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it here.
Uh-huh.
We've been around, and we've been to the gym actually here as well. But we've been around, but UK in general is very good to us, and a very, very nice crowd, because you all really love your arts and music and your culture and way into it. So it's great to play here.
And this is too, as you said, with your new band, Vuur, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Is the set list going to primarily be built around the album that you just put out?
Yeah, it does, but we do, of course, some back catalogue of mine, which is some Gathering, some Devin Townsend, some Gentle Storm, of course, so yeah.
You've got a lot to pick from, really, haven't you?
Oh yeah,
and
so
your solo
much.
material as well.
As well, yeah.
Because Vuur's certainly the heavier side of your repertoire. I mean, do you have to adapt your singing style when you're not doing the acoustic stuff, you're doing the real beefy, heavy stuff? Do you have to sing in a different way?
It does. I have to sing in a different way because it's a different technique. Although I don't really have a problem with it because it comes natural. Like, not a lot of things come natural to me in life, but singing does, and I like switching.
Yeah.
And I like also because it inspires me to do one or the other and to deepen it out. So to learn new skills or to So I love singing. I love learning. So yeah.
What made you want to sort of take a step over to the heavier side? Because I think the last album you did was with the Icelandic Folk.
Yeah.
So it's completely different end of the spectrum. So just wanted to do something a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, I've always been in metal, of course.
Yeah.
And although my solo albums, also with Anneke and under my own name, are more to rock side, I always been making metal with other people like Devin, like Arjen, Lucas, Moonspell, you name it.
Napalm Death even.
To say, that's heavy, But so I always wanted to make my own heavy album, and an album like Drive, for instance, was supposed to be more heavy than it turned out to be.
Yeah.
And at one point I said I want to make a metal, a progressive metal album. And I'm working with Dev and I'm working with Arjen, and I was thinking, but I don't have the people around me to do that with. And then when I had this
Jack Russell's.
Yeah. So when with Ari Lucas I made the Gentle Storm, I made a live band. I formed a live band to go just on the road with Gentle Storm, and then I realized this is such a kick-ass band that I've got around me. And then I thought I'm gonna.
So that's essentially your Gentle Storm touring band.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Essentially, give or take a few members, but they are so awesome. And then I thought, well, if I'm gonna make a heavy album, I should make it with them. So I asked, and they all said yes.
Yeah.
And here we are, man.
Yeah. So what about the songwriting process, and how did you go about writing the songs for the album? Were they written with the rest of the band?
Not entirely. I written most of it together with Joost van den Broek, and he's a producer. He used to play keys also in Gentle Storm, and he's a guy of After Forever, and so he's a great producer. So he produced, mixed, and wrote the album together with me. And we had some help from Mark Holcomb and all those guys, yeah. And our two guitar players, they wrote some stuff too. And for the next album, because we're already working on the next album, I want to do way more with the guitar players, because they both have really, really excellent writing skills as well. Very good melodic fingerprints, and so, but just to start up the whole thing, like it was nothing, and now it's a band, with an album. But when there was nothing, it's like, okay, a couple of songs, and we go from there. And now it's kind of establishing who does what and whatever. Yeah. And now I see that our two guitar players are wonderful writers as well, so I want to make use of that.
Yeah, and work with the outside writers as well. What do they sort of do? They help sort of develop you as a songwriter when you work with other people?
Yeah, they do. I learn a lot from just working with random other people in random genres as well. But Mark and Asa, for instance, they are good friends and wonderful musicians, wonderful writers. I just asked them, like, can you come up with some stuff, and random stuff like riffs or a whole song or half a song or just some ideas. They both are touring very much, so they always came up with, like, for instance, Mark came up with me like a video of a song he just in some backstage, like, okay, I have some ideas, and he made a video of him playing the guitar unamplified, and I would go from there. Yeah. So it was just random, but I did have an idea of how it should sound and everything, so that was a clear idea.
So how long did it all take to come together then, from the writing to the recording?
I think about 2 years until the finishing of the album, yeah.
Because it's based on cities. It's called In This Moment We're Free, Cities. And each song title's got a city. Is this a sort of reflection of you travelling around the world?
I suppose so,
Have you been to each of these cities?
Yes.
So you've been to Beirut?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Beirut is such a special city because it's in between a lot of different angles, a lot of different places in the world, a lot of different cultures, and they all live there. So whenever you go there as a visitor to play or whatever, you see all these religions and people, black and white, and from all corners of the world, they are there. And the strange thing is, in the mountains, they're still fighting always. Like, the city is like, they just want to live, Yeah. So it's a really special place, and the people are so fascinating and so wonderful.
It was always one of those places when I was growing up on the news, it was always conflict.
Always, and still is.
Yeah.
And and there's guards at every street corner, but somehow people there but it's in every conflict area. People just want to live, they just want to do the thing and survive, and that makes, when you're there, it's not like Holland or where we are free and where we are. Most of people are doing well, and we all are so complaining about so many things, while we have it so good, It's very inspiring. So that alone is an inspiration to write about, and a lot of cities you come back to play, and then you always feel something like, oh, I'm comfortable here, oh, I want to live here, or oh, I feel uncomfortable here, and then stories come up and talk
so
about.
Next album we might have one of Newcastle then.
Yeah, of course. Because I get a lot of angry, people like, why not in a city in Spain or whatever, and then it's like, but there are so many places that I can still write about.
So are you sort of seeing Vuur as a sort of long-term project then?
Yeah, it's a band. It's my band. You know, it's something I wanted for a long time, and the guys are fantastic. People around us are fantastic. So this is here to stay for sure. But people have to get used to it.
Yes.
People always think with me like, okay, she does something and she goes on to the next thing. So I understand people are now a little bit reluctant to check it out.
I think that's what keeps it interesting for me, because I never quite know what you're going to do next. Because, like I said, I mentioned you did the is it Astoir? Is it Astoir, the Icelandic folk band?
Arstider, I don't know.
Yeah.
Icelandic.
Yeah, beautiful laid back classical folk music. It's totally different to Verse, totally different to Napalm Death, Gathering Storm. I mean, is it important to you to keep pushing those boundaries and doing new stuff?
But I love. Maybe I'm just. People think it must be complicated, but I'm a simple girl. You know, I love singing, and I love all these things, and I love people coming up to me saying, "Should we work together?" Or I have a lot of ideas.
Is that how that came about? They called you up?
Well, actually, we toured with RCD. We toured together with Pain of Salvation. I got to know them. We were both opening up for Pain, and they were so fantastic. So you always say like, we should do something together, but in this case, we actually did, and so that came about, and that was quite popular. So if any manager would say to me, okay, press on with this, you know, and Gentle Storm as well, everybody, like, it was instant popular. So everybody would say, okay, make a second album. But both Arjen and me, we said, I want to make a solo album. And I want to form Vuur. But that's the thing that was going to stay.
Is Gentle Storm something you could revisit again?
Yeah, because we did give it a name. It is an existing thing.
It was such a great idea as well. You had the bombastic symphonic, you had the acoustic, and it was based on the diary, and it's a fascinating story. And if you, like me, got the big box set version with the big, you know, the whole package and everything was it's just what made that album really special. It's been a lot of fun making that, because you know, when I spoke to Arjen, and he was saying he loved it, he absolutely loved working with you as well.
Ah, nice,
So,
well, likewise,
So we're looking forward to volume 2.
Yeah, and actually we had already a lot of ideas for the next album, so we can come together again and make something,
Because again, you've also worked with the likes of Within Temptation, Anathema as well. Is there anybody that you haven't worked with that you think, I'd like to do something with them?
Yes, Michael Akerveld. I would love to sing with. I would murder to sing with Michael Akerveld. Yeah.
What about somebody like Catatonia?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
It's very atmospheric.
It is.
I think your voice would go very well with that.
Yeah, and it's this dark voice. And,
I mean, just to round off the last couple of questions, what about your solo work? It's been 5 years since Drive came out. Do you have any sort of solo work on the back burner as well?
Not really, no. All my attention and energy is going into Vuur. So everything heavy I do with Vuur, and everything non-heavy or solo acoustic I just do under my own name. So things are getting more clear now. So you could say Vuur is my next solo album, but I just give it a band name. And
so this year is going to be pretty much spent on the road, touring with her.
And writing a new album. We want to release next year a new album because I wanted to keep the train going.